It's good for one thing. So we'll see Jabs work on this bottom lane. It's about to level 20, doing very well in the Ember. Not able to keep up with the Invoker or the Lifestealer with their Midases, but still good farm on the Ember Spirit. He's had to play very cautiously against the X catch as well.
Yeah, it feels so risky when he comes out for these pushes, Jabs.
Yep.
Each time, he's sending multiple members there to deal with them and get the catch.
See a big difference in the carries in terms of farm. Black getting heavily outscaled by the Lifestealer. Here that Clinks was picked up against as a pseudo counter, but if you don't have the farm, you're not going to counter him. He's been a lot more kills, but that's also because Faceless just haven't had as many kills. And when your carry doesn't have to get involved in kills, that's not necessarily a bad thing. If anything, for EG, that's good. If Arteezy can farm and he's not needed to fight, all the better. That means their draft, that means their lanes are working.
EG with the smoke straight into Faceless's jungle. Faceless already backing up. Looks like neither team will be jumped on here. Faceless is safe in their base.
Shadow Blade is such a dangerous item for Faceless to deal with on Axe. He's so good at roaming around finding those pickoffs, and here's like Clinks can't rely on the Skeleton Walk for survivability anymore, and Faceless can't buy a gem against it. So until like 5 more minutes go by when they have a new gem, they've got to really stick together and play super defensively anytime Axe is missing from the map. He can probably solo kill the Clinks with a Sunstrike. That's very, very difficult for Faceless to get anything done as a result.
Ice has gone full, and he has the refresher already.
Where's his farm come from? I can't believe he's actually managed to farm that. But yeah, with the Midas and the GPM talent,
that's pretty crazy.
He's actually ridiculously farmed. He spent a lot of time bottom lane split pushing. He was the one that was really the reason for that fast tier 2 going down, and that's some incredible fun. That's the kind of item that can turn this game in Faceless' way. You can, like last fight, he solo RPs the Invoker. He now would have a second RP for the Axe, for example, and then you actually win that fight.
Two different lockdowns, and now he's level 20. Pretty significant, plus 15% on the damage and Cleaver the Empower. If they're finding this one there to jump. Ice says he's grabbed 2 jabs with the damage as well, bringing them down like they've bursted 2 out of the fight already. Looking for the control onto Arteezy, but Ice out of mana, chunked down by Artur. They'll lose the Magnus, but Samael's chased down by XY and Black. They'll turn their attention towards side Faceless. They've found 3 so far. Can they get more? They can. They'll bring down the Admiral. Arteezy looking for Black. Skeleton Walk skill still on cooldown for 7 seconds. Black trying to eat a crit to keep alive. Nuts comes in with the Glimmer Cape. Makes sure that Black survives. Black should be fine. He has been disarmed, but he's still got the distance. And Arteezy being bullied around here as he goes from target to target at Faceless. Oh, no. They laugh at the poor child. Arteezy has been bullied, and Black. Oh no, the bully becomes. No, it's fine. The bullying is successful. Poor old Artur.
They can't get him.
Oh no.
He's toggling.
Somebody. Oh my goodness, right. They've triggered him now. He's angry. Arteezy.
He's going for more.
Out. He's back for vengeance. You bullied me once. Now I'll rip your skin off and eat your flesh as he takes down a double.
Oh, that 4-man stance around
Well, there we have it. A bit of a lesson to the bullies out there. Not too great for EG. They lose a lot. But Arteezy surviving, that's got to be worrying for Faceless. You can't kill the carry.
Invoker's got travel, so he can immediately TP to this top push. They've, got an Aegis. Yeah, that's the big thing here. Arteezy can
They've got an RP though still.
Yeah.
Second RP.
Did refresh immediately. 100 seconds till that refresher comes back up, but 1 RP likely enough. Probably doesn't want to go for the Lifestealer. Wants to make sure he gets like an Invoker or Axe type hero. Since the Lifestealer does have the Aegis, he would happily soak up an RP here. And that's going to be a free tier 3 tower.
Straight here onto the racks here, Arteezy.
Someone needs to stop him.
I don't think they're going to be able to before these racks. Melee's down. Faceless. Very, very aware of the power of this Lifestealer now, as Arteezy has just blossomed there.
Not at least getting the Aegis. When they had him 4-man surrounded, if they had just gotten the Aegis, that wouldn't happen, because EG probably are not going to go for that high ground push into RP.
Oh, here's the bullying again. I mean, look at it. Arteezy tucking and turning, but they're low on mana. These armlet toggles as well.
I think it was a miss from Black as well.
And again, I mean,
he had a low ground miss, but that was just some really nice play from him.
Insane. Arteezy Has been receiving a little bit of a flame for some of his performances earlier on in this LAN, but now stepping it up here on the main stage and showing us the plays that we've come to expect from the kid.
I mean, that right there, you see why Halberd is a good item. It saves his life there. With the disarm as well as the extra evasion kicking in, and something Clinks will have to address with an MKB Bloodthorn type pickup. Does look like oh yeah, the Orchid into Bloodthorn is going to be the approach this game. I think it may tempt like a Manta build from Arteezy to get out of that silence. Not sure what he's going to go for, or perhaps he'll just ask his team, someone buy a Lotus Orb, you know? Someone help me out. Although Lotus Orb's perhaps Kunker's job. He's got the Arcane Boots, can disassemble.
Double damage.
It's positioning for Faceless
They've
once
got a
again.
good ward for this fight.
And there's the jump in immediate. Taking out one, but Ice is there with the reaction, but the reaction to the reaction as the Warlock Golem is dropped. Nuts trying for the freezing field, but they'll hold him back. Already looking to chase for more. Warlock's been left on the back lines. Crit will go down. This plus 60 damage doing work there for Nuts. Black only just getting himself away under the cover of Skeleton Walk. It's EG in fact that are the losers here. They've lost 2. Sunstrike won't connect. Zai looking to try and make this trade better, but there again's another RP. Ice will set up a 3rd kill for Black to get himself involved in Samael. Oh, he's angry. BKB pop. He wants this CM. He'll get the CM.
Very hectic fights. Both RPs used may lead to EG trying to press their advantage.
Can Jabs finish this Samael? 1v1 me, son. Here we go. Samael will gladly accept the challenge as he turns around, drops a meteor. Jabs has to duke it out. Black.
Samael in trouble. He's got a
Can he
blink.
clean up the kill? And Samael with that out to safety. They search for him in the tree line. He's up towards the left. There's no vision on
Samael's going back for the kill. Okay, that
Jabs
is
has
a
got
gem,
the gem. It's a risky kill attempt for Samael, and Samael realizes he's out. He won't play around with fire for too long.
He ran through the Clinks, and I think Ember's like, oh, he's over here. Let's go head back that way. But take the regen. No.
Take that regen, little boy. Happens to Albert. Can he arm the? Oh, he cannot arm the toggle his way out of that.
You can have the regen. We'll just kill you right out.
The bullies are back.
Oh, that time they get the job done. Faceless have managed to. It feels similar to the Liquid game in some ways, where they're like, yeah, there's one carry. Well, this game there's 2. That game there was just a Naga, but they make sure all 3 of their core players go late game, and this seems to be a recipe for success with Faceless. I mean, it always has been with Ice. He's a player when he's got a lot of fun when he's having a good game. Faceless are winning games. They can't just get Black and Jabs fun. They need to have 3 good late game scaling players. Ice with the pressure on Magnus is the kind of player you want to be seeing in the late game have a huge impact. And for EG, we're not seeing that kind of item progression on the late game Axe. He had a fantastic start. It is just like a 2-core lineup. Lifestealer is going to get kited, and things are at least progressing in a way where it doesn't feel like EG have shored up their late game, even with a Rax advantage. They need that next big team fight. Next Roche is going to be crucial for them.
XY, unfortunately for himself, sitting under the ward.
Or is it?
The boat comes through Universe as well with the call just to make sure that they can find him. Can Faceless do anything in return? Black trying to go in on the Axe, takes a huge amount of the blame over. Ice is there with the RP. He's grabbed Universe, he's caught Samael as well. Black backs up with the skeleton wall. Jab's already coming in from the side, looking to cut off EG. Remnant burst, 1, bam, 2. He manages to chain it beautifully to pick up the double. And Jabs may not be done yet. Samael is going to be chased out.
Beautiful Ember play.
Very nicely done from Jabs. We can see why this is one of the mids that Faceless love to grab their hands on for him. 6-1-6 this game. Nearly having the money pretty much for that Octarine as well.
They've drafted around the strength of their players. First stage picking an Ember, the only team in this tournament who really do that at this point in the event, but with good reason with how Jabs has played it and things going Faceless' way in that fight. They commit a lot of heroes for that Earth Spirit. That Yules forces the Axe to blink in for a call. If not for that Yules, Invoker perhaps just solo kills the Earth Spirit. But by getting that full commitment, Clinks is able to get the return kill on the Axe. He slightly mistimed his strafe there. He tried to wait till the Blade Mail was... I mean, it was wearing off.
Ice. He just refreshes straight up, gets that RP onto Arteezy. The damage is ripping through the Lifestealer and Faceless. Maybe seeing if they can get more. They look towards Samael, but the BKB's out.
Will wear off. He needs to be careful.
This is just backing off. The Sunstrike, not enough damage. Black survives because he had a hearty meal just before that fight.
That was such
He
a
swallowed
well-played
a big old
Sunstrike,
creek.
and Black managing to barely survive. That is, I mean, Sumail's playing a hell of a game. He's doing everything he can.
They want to secure Roche.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they want to try and secure Roche while RP is down. They know RP was just used, Roche is up. They basically trade the buyback for having an Aegis on Lifestealer here, which is basically like, well, a second. Either way, you've got a second life on Lifestealer. Yeah. The difference is your opponents don't get the Aegis. If Faceless got the Aegis, you could find yourselves in some trouble, and Faceless aren't even going to contest this. They're like, we haven't got RP. We've just chewed through a lot of our spells. Black is still pretty low. No way can we stop Roche from happening. So I like that buyback. It gets Arteezy a guaranteed Aegis and negates the fact that he doesn't have buyback because of that.
And as you said, they didn't have the RP for the Roche, and they're not going to have RP for the high ground defense. But still about, what, 40 seconds, I believe, at least on that Magnus RP.
Jabs is approaching level 25, though. See what he can do. The refresher being in the back.
Well, sometimes you don't need RP if you can hit the skewer, but Ice won't quite get it onto Artur.
Got the refresh in the backpack, making it cool down a lot slower on the Magnus. Something that could come into play. I feel like he should try and swap that out, even just for his magic wand, but...
That's easy. Looking to man up, disarm onto the Clinks on the sidelines. Universe keeping eyes on Jabs. Looks like EG.
Has Jabs got 25? Not yet. That would be a big level to get. Although it does look like EG are going to back off for a little bit, go for the Shrine, so that will perhaps give Jabs the room to hit that crucial level 25. Likely going for the cooldown reduction. You're against a Lifestealer who can easily get out of the Searing Chains, and we're seeing teams just get a lot of like Lotus Orbs and stuff against the Searing Chains if need be, so I feel like the cooldown reduction is more likely going to be the way he approaches this game. Axe TPing top. Didn't bring the Lifestealer, so don't think he finds his kill.
Tries for the cool, but Jabs again.
He's out.
I mean, a little coincidental that
he's quick.
juke, but it worked.
He got rid of the gem then, or is it still on the Ember? Oh yeah, he doesn't have the gem anymore. That was coincidental, but he'll take it.
Oh, mid lane, Arteezy.
Can
be careful here. They maybe have to kill him once here, but the Bloodthorn damage is enough. He's down once. That's the Aegis gone, and now in that 5 minutes,
he's got no buyback.
You've got to be careful. You've got to be careful if you're Artur. Ice has an RP as well. Arteezy, he better run. The Hex is there. They go for the bait. They catch out Ice. The Magnus is out and down. 85 seconds, no buyback. And now EG, Luna combo for more. They've got the Tornado onto XY. Earth Spirit's out. Battle Hunger onto Nuts. The jump in from Jabs. He's looking to try and clean up in return, but now he's surrounded. The disarm from Artur. The bash as well. Jabs is out. Sumail again. The second Tornado. Now looking for Black. Hexed up. Arteezy ready to close in. The buyback's coming out. Jabs buying back into the fight. Black will survive. Nuts goes for the freezing field, but immediately used there from EG as they take CM out. EG, they're not done yet. Universe seeing if he could have the potential to catch more. Black on the side.
What a clutch Hex onto the Magnus. They baited that so incredibly well. They saw Ice coming in, looking for the RP on the Lifestealer to try and seal the deal on a dieback, but just wasn't able to anticipate, perhaps not even seeing the Hex pick up just yet. Completely blindsiding him, and with that, EG find themselves with a big lead here and perhaps able to take a second lane of racks. They'll buy some time with the glyph, and Arteezy still does need to be careful against the Bloodthorn. Universe is fishing.
15 seconds for that Magnus. They've got to get something done before Ice is back. Arteezy straight in with the rage. The Hedge Universe on the back lines, catching out Black on the Clinks. The Clinks is out, buys back immediately. XY is down. 80 seconds without the Earth Spirit, and at the same time, on the back, crit was gone on by Jabs, but Jabs couldn't quite finish the job as he has to back up. They've lost the melee Rex in the middle lane, and EG getting a lot done as they continue to just amp up the pressure ever since that Arteezy buyback and making sure that they find these objectives.
Preemptive spell use paying off. We saw it at top where the Ember, he just remnants away before the Axe calls. We saw it at mid with the pre-Hex before the Blink, and we see it there. Arteezy just rages. He knows that he might get jumped by an Earth Spirit. Earth Spirit blinks as he rages. Try to just get like a stun silence off. Perhaps they kill him. I don't think they do, but it would at least stop him hitting the racks. And it baits the entire team. Earth Spirit suddenly finds himself right on top of a raged lifesteal. That is the worst possible position for him to be. And as a result, we'll see another melee Rex going down. Faceless will have to play from behind. They have got the double RP in the late game to do so with Ember Spirit. Fantastic late game hero as well, but on the Radiant side, that Hex catch, we've seen how effective it can be. Not to mention the fact that Sumail's Invoker has just been phenomenal this game.
And here we go, EG. Now with the strong position by quite a mile. 2 minutes only left on Arteezy's cooldown. The buyback over on the side of Faceless, as we can see. Black, Jabs, and XY still having at least 4 minutes to wait. If they go down in this window, it could be all over for Faceless here in this game one.
And it seems something that EG want to play around without forcing it too much. They have to be wary of their Lifestealer, who doesn't have buyback for a much smaller window.
It's nearly there. It's nearly there.
They can look to wait that out and then try and jump onto Faceless, but fighting near the Faceless base is always going to be very difficult.
Faceless, they don't care that their buyback's on cooldown. They want to go for something big. They smoke out, but EG have this high ground advantage.
Go on to.
XY's been spotted by this ward. EG know that something's up. Jabs will get the jump in. Finds one, but then Ice immediately comes in with two. They've managed to catch out the two backline supports. They'll take one. Universe coming in with the reaction, but the second RP is there to hold back the axe. Sumail gets taken down. Black has just too much damage. They'll turn towards Universe, and Faceless with that movement, with that play. Once again, Artur, the last man surviving, is out as well as Faceless. Team White EG. A massive, massive fight there. And an incredible, we saw that they, EG saw XY, but as soon as they saw him, Jabs in immediately with a slight, and then the Ice just blindly going in, knows that he's going to get multiple heroes.
Ice Dota. He missed the second RP onto the Lifestealer with the axe. He went for two, but even so, he got the initial start.
And look at this damage for Black.
Black finding Sumail. That's the other key thing is there. Sumail didn't have the support to fight into Black. Black's BKB was just used to snipe the Invoker. Invoker without, I don't think he has a Shivers guard or anything like that because he went for this Hex, so he doesn't have much armor to fight against the Clinks, and he melts that physical damage. Yeah, we see he's got the plate mail in his backpack. He's now going back for the Shivers. He recognizes what's crushing him in these fights, and it's that single target damage output.
Let's see what they can get done though. 10 seconds and Arteezy will have buyback available.
Well, I'm not sure if you want to use Invoker buyback at this point. You may just give up a lane of racks. But they'll use the Lifestealer one, trying to hold
Jabs. Straight in deep here, looking for crit. Getting himself back out, just creating space to make sure the Faceless can finish off the racks in the middle. Black not messing around, just BKBs and runs out. They don't get the range. They bring it down to pretty much dead, but they get that melee racks that they were after. Good calls force out Arteezy's buyback.
Yeah, good calls on both sides. If you don't buy back like the Lifestealer there, they can use that window with 3 heroes dead to do some, perhaps get a second lane of racks. And by buying back the Lifestealer, Faceless can't commit as many heroes, and they're able to preserve the Invoker buyback as well as the Axe buyback.
Nice, as we can see. Not only been having just a great game today, yesterday as well. Pulling out some massive plays for Faceless.
This Lincolns will help a lot against that counter initiation we've seen from the Hex. Not going to be quite the same solution. What's he got? The minus 35 respawn time?
Oh, you got to take that, surely.
That's Shockwave cooldown.
So good.
No, not much thought into that one.
Yeah.
And EG
again looking to fight around the spot.
He's so careful. Dire have maintained some decent vision around that area. They can try and pop these smokes with either an Invis or a Blink hero and then use that vision advantage. And they know EG's there. They saw that ward get planted, so they know they were on that left side of the cliff and likely smoked up.
Roshan would be lovely for EG.
This is the minimum respawn time now, so Faceless only now have to start worrying about Roche, and they're probably like, alright, surely it's going to be at least like a minute till Roche. It's one of those things where in your head, you normally wait like 30 seconds to a minute before you go push out and check out Roche, but it will be a very fast respawn.
Straight up, there we have it.
That definitely helps EG. They're kind of already in position. They've got one decent ward in the area. Very hard to maintain vision against Gem, and all of Faceless's vision was set up for that last fight, so they've got nothing around this Roche pit. How scared EG are right now just depends on whether they think Faceless have a smoke, among other factors. And it looks like Universe is going to be in charge of trying to scout out any incoming smoke ganks.
It looks like they should get this. Huge, of course. Again, a bit of a repeat of the portion of the game we saw, about 10 minutes ago, where we have this. Arteezy's buyback on cooldown for a fair few minutes still. They get himself the Aegis. Last time they had that, they were able to get away with the melee racks in the middle lane that they took down. Maybe we'll see a repeat towards the bottom lane, and that's going to push, of course, Faceless closer and closer to being mega creeped.
See how they respond to this one on the Faceless side. May have to start considering just RPing that Lifesteal, even though he's got an Aegis. If he goes onto the high ground and just starts rage hitting your buildings, you can't just let them get mega creeps without contesting, so.
I mean, that is the nice thing about Ice this game. We are seeing a Magnus that he's not waiting for the flashiest of RPs. He goes in. I mean, it's Samael or even just the supports on the backline. He knows that as long as they're the team that gets the jump, there's a high chance that the fight overall will go their way.
Last time he took out the 2 supports, and because of that, Invoker was a free kill for Black. Black was able to isolate Invoker. There was no Axe Call, there was no Kunkka Ghost Ship, there was no Warlock Rock. Probably most importantly, no Warlock Rock. Warlock was positioned in fogged in the trees, but he got scouted by a beautiful sleight of fist from the Ember Spirit. That chains onto the Warlock really set up Faceless perfectly, but Faceless need more of that. They're still on the back foot. They're still up against Aegis Cheese, and EG still have all the tools they need to try and break high ground. It's just going to be how they play around the Magnus RP and how they manage to make sure that these supports don't get caught on the backlines, for example. Interesting, Crit has the cheese. Perhaps just, I mean, the other, like the cores don't have many item slots for it more than anything. And perhaps thinking that he might get caught in like a spell and be able to survive like a Ember combo if he has cheese. You cheese up against the Ember to guarantee you get your rock off.
EG to get the ward down. They are underneath the eyes here. Off faces, eyes again, jumping in. He's grabbed the 2 supports, refreshes. It looks like he's waiting, holding back for the second one to follow through. It's actually at the front of it all. The Samaels has found Jabs. Jabs low, there's your second RP. Again, eyes, looking for the lockdown. Universe is in with the counterplay. Gets the call off onto Ice from the sideline. Black trying to bring down Arteezy, but he hasn't quite got enough damage to do so. This time EG turns towards Black. The Battle Hunger should indeed take him down, and he's out. No Black for 2 minutes. This is EG this time round claiming the superior fight. They just looked a little awkward. We saw Ice get the RP onto the 2 supports, but then it just seemed like he realized the damage dealers weren't there. He was focused on the fact that up towards the top, Jabs was having his work cut out by the rest of the side.
Yeah, he held off on the second RP, I think, recognizing that his cores weren't there to dish out damage, so I think it was the right call, but the problem was the fact you went for that first RP and your cores weren't on top of them. And Ember getting controlled there by Sumail, really deciding things, and now the Clink's it looked like it just came back up. Clink's is back, Magnus is not, and they also know Magnus doesn't have RP, so even if Magnus respawns, he won't have that RP for at least a good minute or so.
An incredibly disjointed fight there from Faceless, heavily costing them. EG still with that Aegis on Arteezy as well. Black alone, as we saw, just not enough damage to cut through this Lifestealer at this stage. As they'll find the racks, EG only needing to take that one from the mid and claim those megas.
They just go for it with the Rage, knowing that there's a window still with RP on cooldown. Back up in 35. Feels like they can just walk in Rage and take it for free. There's no real response there. Maybe just comes down to whether or not they're quite wary of the exact cooldown of that RP. Even without the Rage lifesteal, they can just send forward Spirit's Eye and just chip away on this one. Yeah, Arteezy is just likely going to try and Rage from the low ground. He's actually being X'd even. Very safe play.
And he goes, and that will be the final racks. They're gone. Mega creeps out now for EG. And she faces, they do have the Empower Search to help push these lanes back out, but it's not an ideal position for them to be in whatsoever, as EG, after a bit of a rocky kind of late game, getting themselves back in firm control and certainly looking to be the side to take this game.
Daedalus Ember Spirit coming out, so has transitioned into the physical damage. I was about to say, is it time for the Rapier? We'll get the Daedalus first, and then likely, I mean, if time goes on, he'll love a Rapier, but he's not going to have money for that anytime soon without a team fight victory or two, so we'll see if he can get there. Likely at that point of the game where you just say, let's replace this Veil, get Rapiers, and hope for the best, but it's EG in firm control. Likely to shore up perhaps even another Roshan before they try and take any kind of a risky fight in the enemy base. If Faceless try and leave the base, then yeah, you take those pickoffs that you can. Axe is going to be fishing around. Same for the Invoker with the Scythe of Vice. Find the pickoffs where possible, and Jabs is definitely a good target. Hasn't got the Lincoln Sphere. That was kind of maybe his downfall in that last fight. He got hexed up and controlled, and as a result, didn't dish out any damage onto the RP targets. It was hard to fully tell what happened in that fight because it really was 2 different fights.
It was straight up like by where what the tier 2 was and down where the tier 1 would have been.
And if it was 2 fights that were close together, then I think that's okay for Faceless, because at least Ember's in the neighborhood. They can try and help him out when the Hex wears off. He can dish out some damage, but it was miles away from the RP. There was not a point of damage dealt in that RP.
Here we have it, EG closing in again around that mid lane. They know that there's still this window. If they can take down Black or Jabs, no buybacks for these cores for a good 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
Hard to get out to that Secret Shop to finish off your Daedalus too if you're Jabs.
They're trying to make the journey now. EG, Universe going to look for the vision here as he goes up towards the high ground. Will be grabbed back. There's your first RP onto Samel. They'll take the invoke round. No, he's still alive in front. Oh, they don't kill him. The BKB comes out. The boat flows through from side. Oh, Samel still survives. Finally goes down as Jabs gets him out. But the buyback will be there. They've lost the CM. They've lost Size, who will buy back along with XY. Universe looking to finish off this Jabs Ember Spirit for a second time, and they will. Jabs and Black are out. This is almost certainly GG as Evil Geniuses with these last few fights.
That's got to be it,
Perfect execution and just outplay of Faceless. They've done it here in game one. They will take it 56 minutes in. Quite the game. A game where it looked to be EG having the easier opening. Faceless hitting back hard in the mid, but at the end of the day, performance from EG in these team fights was pretty immaculate.
EG stepping up. I think the great thing about this series is just how much both teams have stepped up their play from the group stage. Because you're looking at Faceless, last place in their group. EG, second to last in their group. Neither of these teams had a good group stage, but what we're seeing on the main event is really some top-class Dota.